Look at that photo. Hey everyone, it's Chris here from Everyday Survival Gear, and today we're doing something special, something that I didn't do last year because the haters are gonna hate and whatnot. So this year I am gonna upload a video of my 2019 self-built contest for BLF. This is my entry. I'm in the handmade department, so I given out handies and stuff, and the build is dedicated to old Lumens. The whole thread is dedicated to old Lumens. So yeah, those of you who don't know old, he was a very wise member of the BLF community that passed away a few years ago, and he's deeply missed. So yeah, so let's get on with the build, I guess. So I spared you guys quite a bit of the build. This is what I'm up to so far. So I know it only looks like a box, but that's all that it is. It's not really, it's a rectangle. I was going to say it's a triangle. So my build is basically going to be this box shape here. We slap some copper on top and some copper down the bottom. And Bob's your auntie or your uncle nowadays. You can't beat the discriminative. And you get the final product. So I did kind of outlay how I was going to build it here, but I'm going to clean that off anyway, like the battery and whatnot. So basically, it's going to be an all-purpose, all-in-one light that you just charge from a USB port, and that's basically it. So what have I done so far? So while you guys have not been around, because I didn't want to bore you guys, the boring part, I cut this down to size, and I sanded it all by hand, and I used this primer stuff, which I'll show you later. And it's got about 3-4 coats of that primer stuff on it now. It's kind of like a clear finish, just so I could bring out the texture of the Tasmanian oak that I'm using. So it doesn't seem like I've done that much that far, but little do I know that when you buy a miter saw, when you buy a miter box, you also need a miter saw. So I didn't know that, and then trying to use the miter box, I didn't cut it right. Like I done a cut, I angled it this way, and the cut came out like that. And then I'd done some other weird cuts where I angled it wrong. So basically, I was going to make the box fancy as fuck. And then I just ended up doing a butt joint because I couldn't fix it. Because I tried all these joints, and this one fits here, right? I go like, oh, mad. And then this side wouldn't have worked because it's the wrong way around. Or it's this one. So I'd done it all the wrong way around. So I'm not very good at woodworking, so don't expect to learn any sort of woodworking lessons from this. As you can tell, because I didn't even realize that angling a piece of wood the other way inside a miter box would make it come out like this. And I do not own a miter saw either, so yes. So basically, I just stuck it together, butt joint, sanded it all by hand, sanded the edges round, and now I'm up to here. Also, the copper parts too, I had to sand them down, round them. And yeah, so the copper is 0.8 mils in thickness. So basically, I had quite a hard time sawing it because it's copper and it clogs the saw blade. But also, it's not too thick or too thin that it wants to get cut easy or hard. So if this was like a few mils thicker, like I would be able to store it and it wouldn't bend and twist. But I didn't really have that option. So what I done was I put it in the what's it called over there, the vise. And I just snapped it. So I've got photos of that I'll show you guys. I'll add that photo to here. And this was how the copper used to look. So it was like much bigger. So I did keep a strip, not this much, because I did hand sand this for 2.5 bloody hours. The other thing too is I've tried to work with copper shims before and sand them by using the belt sander, and it just tears them to shreds. So I didn't want to risk it with this. Even though I've got a few spare, I didn't want to waste it because... So basically I bent it, cut off a bit, and that bit I'll use as a height adjustment for the torch. Obviously, pardon me, we got front and we got back. The torch itself will compile of a 18650 battery holder, a single, because I can't really fit double in there because it'll take up too much space. So a single 18650 battery holder, built-in USB charging, some sort of triple, it's real mainly these, some sort of triple LED. This is Nishia 219Cs here. And switch, wherever the switch went. And also it's going to be held in place by these brass screws. I thought that I bought these years ago now, or maybe like a year and a half ago, and I figured that these brass screws will go pretty good with the copper, because it's kind of a similar color, not exactly the same, but how does that look? Pretty cool. I'll just bolt them on the sides and we'll see how it looks. That's pretty much it. So I figured, because I've already done the storing and I've already done the sanding, so that sanding was like all up, it was a few hours, like four hours. I figured now we're going to get some actual work done. Not really, but I'll show you guys around and we'll do some work together. So let's get that started. Okay, so together right now we are gonna make love. Now we're gonna this is the top. Wow, bloody hell, I draw everywhere. So which way is the top, the bottom, doesn't really matter, they both look the same. Charging port is gonna be here, switch is gonna have to be somewhere here, but I can bend these in, I think. Snap City soon. No, I can bend them in. There we go. So I can bend these in. So together right now, we'll just drill some holes through this and hand sand it or chisel it out and try and make that fit, unless I could just do it without you guys watching. But what's the fun in that? Anyone that wants to know, I do have a drill press, but right now I'm not running power outside because it's like 11 o'clock at night, so yeah. I didn't really think this through. I don't have that much space where I am. I should probably do this standing. But yeah, so first things first is, how can I do this with everything in the way? We'll choose a drill piece that'll fit in that hole. Pretty square, pretty flush. Maybe you reckon the 5 mils will fit? What's that in American standard? What do you guys reckon? Excuse me one moment, please. Okay, change of plans. First hole I am going to drill is the top hole, which has to be this size to fit in this 8 mil, 8 mil thick dowel, which is just a piece of wood, which is going to be connected to the switch up the top, which will then click the switch on. So I've got a 8.5 mil drill bit in there. Should probably do this standing, right? I mean, geez. Yes, I will. Okay, those of you that are confused by those two holes, I am just as confused as you, but the first hole was a bit close to the wall. So yes, you can drill a pilot hole first. Careful, kids. Don't try this at home. It would also be better, I know, it's not only woodworking, but everything, if we drilled it through the back, probably to the front, might have been better. I actually cracked the back because I didn't go hard enough. So, that's lucky. Alright, so I already marked out the hole for the USB charger. I'm just going to throw in a 6 mil bit. We'll go smaller than that 8 mil from last time. Just because I want it to be more like a USB port. Like, not, the USB port isn't round, it's more oblong. See what happens when you hold onto the piece of wood? It doesn't go bloody flying. Genius. Yes. So I'll make that now. I'll make that more like a cross, and I've also got to drill some holes in the back, I think, just to try and sit that in a bit. I'll show you guys what I mean. So this is the size dowel that I can start a fire that I'm going to use. Obviously not this long. I'm going to cut it down and I'm going to stain it and stuff and just cut it off there, and that's going to be the on and off switch. So yeah, and this hole down the bottom for the USB port, it's a lot smaller. So yeah, I'll clean these holes up. I'll probably sand them a bit and I'll have to recoat it again. Basically for now, I think that's the only really 2 holes that I have to drill through the actual box. The rest of the holes are just going to be to hold the copper in place, so they should be a little bit different. Alright guys, I'm going to take this said mini file, shove it in here, and make this circle more oblong so we can fit a USB cable in there. I'm not going to bore you guys with this because it's probably going to take quite a while. Yeah, it's already looking a bit more square. But, yeah. And then I have to work out something on the back end. Or else the USB port will be sitting too far back. So I might have to drill some more holes behind there. That's not bad actually. It's not great, but I have to make it pretty even. But as you can see, it's coming along. I'll cut you guys off because I'm going to throw some music on and I will get demonetized if I keep on playing. I mean, if I play anything, I'll get the. What do I mean? I don't even make any money anyway because I got under 1,000 subs. What a noob! I forgot about that, bastards. All right, guys. I think the battery's starting to run out in here, so I've got to go back inside soon. Anyway, this is one of the holes. It's a bit big and oblong, but I'm gonna make it better. But while I was filing, my file snapped. It's a good brand too. It's Nichols. Can't read it because the camera's in the way. Nicholson. So I think they're American. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe I had too much force on it. So why does this hole look like a great big gaping hole? Well, basically I didn't realize until I started this that the in and out for the charging port is on the front. Or is that... Wait a second. I have to oh no, don't tell me I think I did what I think I did, right? So in will be from USB, then out will be from there, but then I was reading it the wrong way around, in, and then, oh man. So you don't need to like use USB, you can hook it up to something else as an in and an, so I didn't even need to worry about that, I could have made it thin. Anyway, so what I'm going to do is stick it in here, alright? And although it looks big and stuff, it should still be okay. It's not going to really look like this. Next time you guys see it, I should have a piece of wood, because I still got heaps of leftover from those leftover cuts that I made mistakes on, and I'll wedge a piece of wood in there, and I'll prop it up, and you should be able to see the USB. I do probably have to leave a little bit of clearance for the cable and stuff, so yeah, but I'll try and wedge in wood all around it and try and make it fit pretty good. See what I can come up with. Until the next video, I guess that's it. See you then.